Greetings, St. Paul's, and blessings on this Thursday. The psalm appointed for the daily lectionary today is Psalm 18. I love you, O Lord, my strength, O Lord, my stronghold, my crag and my haven, my God, my rock in whom I put my trust, my shield, the horn of my salvation, and my refuge. You are worthy of praise. So, those of you who have been at St. Paul's for a while may have heard me say that the choir likes to take bets on how many times I am going to say the word journey in my sermons. It's funny because I do use the word a lot. But recently, my children have decided to make fun of me because of my use of the word beloved. According to them, in my Easter sermon, I used it in so many times in so many different ways that they actually lost count. You see, I have started using the word beloved maybe 3-4 years ago as a substitute for the phrase that is normally heard in churches when people say brothers and sisters, because it was told to me and explained to me that the term brothers and sisters is not inclusive of people of all genders. So in thinking about what better way to sort of reference God's people, the one that came to my mind was beloved. And it was basically because of my love of the book by Henry Nouwen known as Life of the Beloved. I do think that that is a wonderful way of us to think about God's people, all of God's people in the world. Imagine if we spent our days looking at each other from the lens of beloved. Think about how many less wars, how many less fights, how many less disagreements we might have if when we thought about each other, we saw each other as God's beloved children. Each of us equally loved by God, and therefore each of us called to be loved by us as well. So I tried to live my life and my days thinking about things in that way and looking at other individuals in that light, because I believe that I am loved by God. And I believe that God's love is limitless, abundant, and given to all of God's creatures. I look into the face of others and see God's love reflected in them and back at me. I want to encourage you to live life in that manner. It doesn't mean that you're not going to have disagreements with people, because at the end of the day, we are all different. We see the world differently. We see life differently. But when we approach the other with the eyes of God's love, then compassion takes over anger or jealousy, indifference, and all of those things that separate us. When we look at each other with the loving eyes of God, then we start to try to delve into the places where we have commonalities and allow the places where we're different to be things that enhance our lives together, and the places where we are similar to be the connectors of our common life. May you be able to live a life knowing that you are truly beloved of God, that the sacrifice that Jesus made on the cross was a result of the fact that God loves us so much, as John says in the gospel, that he was willing to give his eternal word, Jesus, so that all who believe may have life. May you enjoy that life that was gained for you.